Did VR just get its first real system seller? With Half-Life Alyx, Valve releases the first Half-Life game in over 10 years. But it's a real gamble. The install base of VR is not exactly huge. So is this a game you should play if you own a VR headset? Or is this game actually worth getting one in the first place? You are watching The Gaming Greyhound, and I will provide you with all the information you need to decide for yourself. So pay attention if you like single-player games. This might be a dream come true. Fans of Half-Life are demanding a new game in the series from Valve for more than a decade now. However, up until recently, Valve seemed to have almost given up developing games, as they concentrated heavily on the Steam platform and maintaining existing games like Dota. But suddenly in November 2019, not even half a year before they actually released the game, Valve finally announced Half-Life Alyx. The announcement divided the community into those who were really happy that there was finally a large-scale AAA VR game coming, and those who thought that the resources at Valve would be better invested in a non-VR, fully-fledged Half-Life 3. But as one of the VR hardware pioneers, together with HTC, it was only a question of time when Valve would also provide software that would show what VR is capable of. And so they now did. Half-Life Alyx plays like as if Valve looked around at all the other VR games and thought, why aren't you doing this right? And then they did it right. Half-Life Alyx is one of the very few VR games that does not feel like a tech demo. It clocks in well over 10 hours and gives you very polished gameplay wrapped in an engaging story. So let's talk about that gameplay. Half-Life Alyx is not only a Half-Life game in name. You get the amazing physics, nice and not too easy puzzles, the scripted sequences that it got famous for, and so on and so on. Long-time Half-Life fans will not be left disappointed. And it is downright stunning how well those gameplay elements translate into VR. The controls work almost perfectly, which begs the question if the game would feel nearly as advanced as it does if it would have been released earlier, as a launch title for the Vive for example. It seems like they have taken a really good look at what others have done and what works and what doesn't. The result is a highest quality shooter that would be great as a regular PC game, but is honestly a revolution in VR. Basic things like shooting, reloading, healing yourself, solving puzzles, upgrading weapons. All that is not exactly new, not even in the VR space. But Half-Life Alyx brings all this together into one unique experience that has no equal on the gaming market today. But that doesn't mean that it's perfect. There are issues around the controls that can drive you crazy sometimes. Granted, that will heavily depend on what kind of controls you're using. The game isn't limited to special hardware, so you don't need the index controller. I'm using the original Vive controllers, and I'm getting nervous every time I have to reload my gun. Also, as you're opening the menu by holding the grip button, I'm constantly opening the menu when things get a little bit more stressful. Both factors might be attributed to me being a klutz, but there might be more people like me out there, so be mindful of the controls you're using. I think we have established that this is a stellar game, but let's talk about the 3 most outstanding qualities, so you can decide if this is a game for you. Surprise, surprise, this is a VR game, and it is a VR only game. If you don't have VR equipment, I'll have to disappoint you. You won't be able to play it. But that's also kind of the point of it. It would not be this kind of experience if Valve hadn't taken it all the way. This is no compromise VR gameplay. Also, it's a shooter. A first-person shooter, as that is what Half-Life stands for and what VR can arguably do best. And while from a design perspective the enemies are not the most scary ones possible, keep in mind that in VR everything is a bit more intense. So this can freak you out at times, when a headcrab tries to give you a kiss, for example. Another hallmark feature of the Half-Life series, which I already mentioned, is its outstanding story. And the story is told all around you, not only in the scripted sequences. You see and feel the oppression, and feel like being in a real living world, while the game manages to keep you always engaged in the story in a mostly unobtrusive way. From a technical perspective, Half-Life Alyx uses the Source 2 engine. And it is a real showcase of what power is hidden inside of that engine. With great lighting in very different situations, realistic animations even for unrealistic characters, and its powerful physics engine, this game is a real looker. But like all VR experiences, this comes at a price. Pretty high system requirements. Good thing then that the graphics are pretty scalable depending on the hardware that you have available. So you can enter the experience with almost entry-level VR specs. The outstanding graphics are accompanied by pretty stellar audio design. You have fantastic voice work and atmospheric music. So let's summarize the obvious. This is not only a great VR showcase, this is a fantastic game. If you own a VR system, you probably want to have this game. If you were on the fence of buying a system, this might be worth it. This game shows the potential of VR. And who still doesn't see it, hasn't tried it. The only reasons left not adopting VR right now are if you can still not accept wearing the bulky equipment or if you're prone to get motion sickness. Although Valve implemented multiple movement options to even combat that. So, full recommendation from my side. But that's all for now, my friends. I have to get the VR helmet back on and visit some headcrabs. Let me know what you thought of the game in the comments, and I hope you'll be back soon. Thanks for watching the Gaming Greyhound. Until next time. If you want to help me out, please subscribe, ring the bell. I'm pretty sure you have heard that in other videos before. Bye!